Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon. Bill Bryant and Barbara Bailey here for WKYT.
The news continues this midday as we're continuing to track an investigation out of Madison County. That's where a former principal is in jail accused of sexual abuse.
Joy Hayes was arrested yesterday in Richmond. She was formerly an assistant principal at Madison Southern High School. WKYT's Sean Moody is joining us live now from Richmond with the latest. It's our top story at 12:30.
Well, good afternoon. Joy Hayes' attorney entered a not guilty plea for her at her arraignment this morning. Berea police say the alleged abuse happened between November of 2013 and September of 2014. During part of that time, Hayes was the assistant principal at Madison Southern High School. Berea police charged Joy Hayes with sexual abuse. They say she had sexual contact with an underage girl while she was a guest in the girl's home trusted with her care. Police say some of the alleged abuse happened while Hayes was the assistant principal at Madison Southern and the girl was a student. Richmond police arrested Hayes early yesterday morning. Berea police say she'd convinced the girl to sneak out of her house to talk about the charges. That's where they say the tampering with a witness charge comes from.
The victim was actually in the vehicle with the offender when she was arrested. And there were some discussions there about the charges, and that's where that charge comes from.
Now, we put in a request to speak with Hayes at the Madison County Detention Center as well as with her attorney. Both of them declined. Live in Madison County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Sean, thank you. Hayes resigned from her job in Madison County in December of last year. Before she worked there, she was principal of the Lexington Traditional Magnet School.
We're tracking a crash in Lexington this afternoon where a woman luckily left the scene uninjured. Police tell us a woman lost control of her car while she was driving on DeLong Road about 10 o'clock. That's when she crashed into a creek of ankle-deep water. DeLong Road was blocked off to traffic while the car was removed from the creek, but has since reopened. Also in Lexington, a third suspect has been arrested in the city's latest homicide investigation. 38-year-old Thomas Lucky was arrested this morning and charged with murder and robbery. This after a man's body was found at the Premier Car Wash on New Circle Road. 29-year-old Joseph Sledge and 24-year-old Kathy-Ann Thomas have also been charged with murder in that case.
We're tracking an investigation out of Pulaski County today where a former youth pastor has been arrested for alleged sexual abuse. Police tell us the victim in the case is a 16-year-old who told them that Rex Murphy intimidated him with tales of witchcraft. We checked with Eubank Police today. They tell us no other victims have come forward yet. If you have any information about Rex Murphy, police are urging you to call them. If you want to contact the Eubank Police, we have information about that at WKYT.com.
University of Kentucky professor and acclaimed wildlife photographer Thomas Barnes has died. The 56-year-old conservationist documented Kentucky's beauty in several books, including Kentucky's Last Great Places and the Wildflowers and Ferns of Kentucky. According to the Herald Leader, most recently Barnes had been working on a book featuring the state's waterfalls. Barnes died at his home in Barberville. Memorial services for Barnes will be held in Corbin and Lexington.
A second healthcare worker at a hospital in Dallas has now been tested positive for Ebola. The CDC says the second employee reported having a fever on Tuesday. A preliminary test for Ebola came back positive around midnight this morning for the healthcare worker at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital. Both healthcare workers were among those treating Thomas Eric Duncan, a Liberian man who died at the hospital last week.
From infection control to treatment to environmental decontamination to waste management to training of staff. I wish we had done that earlier in Dallas, but we're there now.
The CDC says the second patient took a flight from Cleveland to Dallas before she was diagnosed.
Well, this morning, President Capelluto and other UK campus leaders rolled up their sleeves to get their flu shots. This is the third year of the deans and president's immunizations. The students who organize these flu shots use this as a time to promote the importance of getting a flu shot to the entire campus.
I think it's very important because they are really the face of our university. Everyone knows who Dean Tracy is, who President Capelluto is, and I think that seeing those faces will make people realize how important this is to raise awareness and to receive the vaccine each year.
And there has already been one confirmed case of the flu in the state.
A federal judge has struck down a Kentucky law prohibiting campaign activities within 300 feet of polling places. That ruling comes just 3 weeks before the general election. The judge ruled that the state law violates the First and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. He issued a permanent injunction blocking the law's enforcement.
ESPN is responding to the Big Blue Nation, saying they will air Big Blue Madness. ESPN says the SEC network will air a 1-hour recap of Madness Friday night at 11. You can still watch the entire practice online with ESPN3. Highlights of Big Blue Madness will air on ESPN Friday night and on the SEC network at 9. We have a complete breakdown of times and channels on WKYT.com.
And answers to some of your questions.
That's right. What would it be without the chance to see Coach Mitchell dance?
Right. A lot of other fun that night. All right, there's much more coming up on WKYT News at 12:30. We're teaming up with St. Elizabeth Healthcare and Coleman, Lexington to help save lives. We'll tell you how you can take advantage of the mobile mammography van that's coming here to our station.
Also, we're talking agritourism with Commissioner James Comer, why it's so important to Kentucky, and Kiwanis for Kids. Hear all about this exciting event.
Clouds overhead, a little rain outside this morning and this afternoon, but I think it becomes a little bit more widespread as we work our way into the afternoon and evening hours. I'll show you that forecast off towards your weekend coming up next.